watching Transformers of Eternia, and on this video I just wanted to give my thoughts on my recent purchase of Transformers Legacy Evolution Leo Prime, or Lio Prime as he's known in Japan, I guess. But yeah, this is a character I've always wanted, and just they never put one out that's recent or new or whatever. And I wasn't going to get the old one because it had a lot of issues and stuff that's too fiddly with like the spindly mane or whatever that you could do on the original. Anyway, it's just not something I'm into. But this one is great. This is a Voyager figure, so it's even tall enough to actually feel like a Prime, you know? And I mean, here he is next to Earthrise Optimus Prime and Kingdom Optimus Primal. So yeah, he's quite a bit bigger than Optimus Primal, and he's not quite as big as Optimus Prime. So yeah, I mean, in reality, a lion being, you know, as tall as a semi-truck is kind of weird, but whatever. I'm sure they're doing that type of stuff in the Rise of the Beast movie, so I mean, anything goes nowadays. So yeah, anyway, but yeah, he looks great. The only thing I could complain about, I guess, is the kibble. I mean, there is a lot of little stuff like these legs and stuff. I mean, I understand you can flip these out, and in the show he had this thing flips out here out of his this thing flips out of this thing. I have to use a razor blade because I don't have fingernails. But anyway, and it's just whatever. That's not something I care about. I probably will never have him in that position, so I'm not going to really be too worried about that. But he does have a matrix in here. I have to use a razor blade because I have no nails, like I said. Yeah, and he has this thing, whatever that is. So yeah, that's quite a big difference between the matrix of leadership that this Optimus Prime has, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, so that's kind of cool that they actually took the time to do that and everything. But yeah, and a lot of kibble though for these things on his arms, as you can see in there. But yeah, there's just a lot of kibble. But that's what you're gonna get. I mean, because they wanted to keep the features that they had on the toy, I guess, the original, that had that stuff that comes in. And this stuff here, you can do all that, you know, and put the missiles in there. I have the missiles in the backpack right now, but you could put them in here. Or wait, no, I think these things is what they're talking about. But yeah, so in the show, he had like cannons for this. Or wait, maybe it is those things. I don't know. It's these things. Yeah. Very. Oh my God, I have to do that. Anyway, this is nothing like what it would look like if I put both of these in, like in the cartoon. So I don't know why. They were like black, and they're like giant rocket launcher type things. So I kind of wish they would have kept that. But I mean, they did do the same kind of thing with Optimus Primal, where these cannons are a lot smaller than they were with the toy and everything originally. So you get what you get, I guess. They're cheapening these things. And I just can't stand it where these guns are just, these are his weapons. It's like, boy, he better know karate or something, because these are some crappy little guns. I mean, these must pack a heck of a punch because they're so small. I don't understand. I kind of wish that this guy had a gun like Optimus Prime's gun here, because he needs to have a big gun. That's these small guns is kind of drives me nuts. So I'll probably find a gun from somebody. But yeah, he's fully articulated though. He does have a lot of, I mean, he could do everything. He's got double everything. He can pose and do everything with his legs. This thing looks, I mean, he can do everything. Now up here, I guess he's not really full. I mean, you can move this up, and you could do all kinds of stuff with his arms and stuff, and his wrist swivel, I believe, or maybe not. I gotta move all this kibble once again. No, I guess they don't. I'm not gonna break it. So, yeah. Anyway, but he can do all the stuff that you normally do. He's just got to move these things around, and this head basically is on a swivel type thing right there. So that's kind of weird. And you could go like that, but yeah. Anyway, and this thing here kind of drives me nuts. This little piece of mane or whatever, but whatever. Anyway, and then he kind of looks crappy now the way he's standing. Anyway, if you take these, you take the take a look at the head of the lion. The head of the lion is really kind of just basically just the head of a lion, you know. It's like any old lion, you know. I think they're trying to go with more of a realistic kind of head, kind of like the Kingdom Optimus Primal had the gorilla head that's kind of more realistic, I guess. But yeah, so they're not doing like a wild, like angry looking lion though, like the packaging, but whatever. And you can also store the little, these things in here in his backpack, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, and he's got a swivel in the waist, which is very tight. And his legs, I mean, the joints on mine are very nice and tight, which is really good. I like that. I mean, geez, that's really tight. Ugh. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, I feel like that's off, but whatever. Yeah, he's got really tight joints. So anyway, and the head doesn't really go up or down. It just goes side to side. So at least on mine. I don't know about yours or whatever, whoever gets this, but I got a really good copy of this, I guess. So yeah, I think this thing looks cool and everything in robot mode, but in lion mode, I don't know. I gotta transform it and we'll find out. Okay, so I transformed him off camera because this guy has a very complex transformation, and getting everything into its place and doing it on camera, it would take an hour for me to, I mean, well, I shouldn't say an hour, but quite a long time for me to get everything where it needs to go. And I'm new to this transformation, so I always just, I don't know, I'm not a very good person for transforming these things on screen unless they're simpler. So Leo Prime looks really, I think this looks really good in well, beast form, I guess. This looks really good for a beast form, because usually they got something wrong basically. Now this doesn't have is not perfect, because I mean articulation is like Battle Cat from Master of the Universe Origins. I mean, this thing, you can't really move the feet. I mean, you can't pose like him moving with his leg forward or whatever, because I mean, you get that same as like Battle Cat from Origins. But yeah, I really like this. This is how the leg collapses in and it does that type of thing. That's really cool. And yes, you can pose it like this, and you can go out or whatever, and you can pose these like really at a wild looking, I mean, crazy angle. But you really can't do it without making this look weird. So this is kind of where you're sitting. But yeah, the mane looks amazing on this thing. That's they did a great job on this design for the mane, because it breaks into pieces. This is a separate piece, and this is a separate piece, this is a separate piece. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. And then on top of it, you got these rocket things or whatever, like I showed you before, that can come out the top like that. I mean, for your missiles or whatever to go into, or whatever you want to think of, these micro cannons. That's what they are. They're just so small, it's insane. They could have made them bigger. I don't know why they did. Well, I know why, to save money, but yeah, it's just, those are so small. And I remember seeing images from the cartoon, and the cannon was a lot bigger, so okay. But I think you can, yeah, you can just store them in there, so that's nice. That's probably why they made them so small, so it'll fit in there. But still, it's like, I don't know. They could have had something that adds on to them to make them bigger. But yeah, this thing looks great. And I mean, the face is kind of boring, yeah, and it does have a mouth that works or whatever. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's what it is, you know. I think this thing though, as a beast mode, it looks better than like the Predacons, all the Predacons put together for the whatever Transformers line that they came out on it anyway. And I really like the Predacons, but they don't look very good in beast mode. So I never bought it, and I'm kind of hoping that they'll do another version of that where it actually looks more cartoon accurate, and the beast form and the robot forms all look good, and everything assembles into a combiner, into Predaking very well. But this is not about that. But anyway, yeah, this Leo Prime looks cool in beast form. I mean, he almost, and once again, you know, me being a Master of the Universe fan, he kind of goes right in. He fits right in. I always want to say, you know, like this character, Leo Prime, really fits really well into my little fan fiction mythos where he goes into a warp, into into another dimension or whatever, and porthole or whatever, and comes out on Eternia. You know, that would be cool to see. They could do a comic book or whatever, and you know, have him and the Beast Wars characters type thing end up on Eternia, and them battling it out and like taking sides with He-Man and Skeletor and Hordak or whatever. That would be so cool. And I mean, and of course, when, like I said before in another video, the vehicles of Masters of the Universe would be so cool as Transformers, but not like mainline Transformers, not like an Optimus Prime, but like their own named Transformers, like new characters. But yeah, so getting He-Man out of there because that's just my little nerdy thing. But yeah, so this is a very cool looking, I mean, you can see some of the stuff under the bottom. You knew you were going to see that, though. You can't cover up all that stuff without it being full of, like, hinges and all kinds of stuff. But, yeah, it doesn't have a lot of panel-y type of feeling. It just kind of does. I mean, this is the only part you see from the legs, which kind of looks okay. Doesn't bother me. I mean, the tail, he has, like, a hole right there. So it's, like, his butthole is right above the tail, which is weird. But yeah, it's yeah, so anyway, the tail doesn't really do anything, but I mean, you can see all these pieces, they just kind of come together really well once you figure it out. And it didn't take me a horrible long time, but I had to go onto YouTube and watch somebody's video on, you know, transforming it in order to get it, because of the packaging, you know, it's hard for me to understand what the heck they're saying. But yeah, or on the instructions, I mean. But yeah, this thing looks cool, and I would definitely say get this if you can. Now, Tarn, of course, I seen him on Amazon, but he's a pre-order. So yeah, so I really want Tarn. I have no ties to Tarn. I didn't read the comics or anything, but he just looks cool. And plus, Tarn kind of reminds me of the Fallen, and that's a character I really want to be a Voyager in this new incarnation of Transformers, because I love the Fallen from the War for Cybertron Fallen, the one that looks like he's perpetually on fire and he's black or whatever. He just looks cool to me. So I'd like to see that, like Tarn kind of beefed up and turned into him or something. I don't know, something like that for this thing. But getting back to Leo Prime is freaking awesome, and I would say get him. He feels beefy. He doesn't feel like a sheepy. He feels like they spent some actual time and effort to make this thing look good. So I'm really glad that they did that. But yeah, I don't want to make this video too long. So like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.